I'm Kristen.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is Mornings with Riddle.
So, Kristen, spring has officially sprung.
Certainly has, Brooke.
And we thought, what better way to celebrate the new season than to take a closer look at the community garden?
That's right. It has been very active down there. If you visited Riddle Village in the past, you may have noticed our previous garden where there were separate garden plots. And there has been a big group effort with our garden committee, our executive team, resident council. There's a whole list of people that the wood shop have all come together. All residents and management have come together to create a brand new place for gardeners to enjoy. So if you like gardening, this episode's going to be for you.
Yeah, so to learn more about some gardening tips, what's to come in the future, I sat down with Mary North, who is the chairperson for the community garden, and we had a great conversation covering all sorts of topics. So why don't we take a look?
Sounds great to me.
Hi, Mary. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Brooke. It's nice to start the day with you.
Oh, that's very nice. So we wanted to talk to you today all about the community garden, and you are the chairperson of the community garden.
Yes.
So let's start with, what are some of your roles?
Well, it's been an interesting year with it because we decommissioned the little garden plots last year. We kind of were starting over with a fresh plot. And it seemed to be more workable and more neighborly if we put in a single large plot, which was fenced in quite early last fall.
Okay.
And then we waited, and then there was something applied. So every month, those of us who are subscribing to the plots or asking for one of the plots, we're calling them planter boxes, because basically they're 4 feet by 8 feet. So if anyone wants one of those, we've advertised. People speak by word of mouth.
Okay.
Some people have said, yes, I want to do it, and then have said, oh, I'm not sure I can, and then others will come and say, I've been thinking about it. So basically people come to me, and when they say they want to do it, I say, come to the meeting. It's on the 4th Thursday at 10:30 in the Gold Room.
Okay. So you kind of facilitate all the meetings. People can come to you for questions and contact.
Right.
You're the go-to person.
I am, and of course we have a lot of very self-starting people around here. So the wood shop was engaged to create these 4-sided planter boxes. And I have to say that the furniture committee was very, very active in getting money for the materials.
Oh, wow.
Rob has been very helpful, and Ron, of course, was the point man on it.
Group effort.
Yes, we are a village.
Now, you mentioned sometimes there's beginners down in the garden. So what are some tips, like what do you recommend beginners start to grow, and what's some common plants you see down there?
Good. Yeah, well, I will say first thing that when Caramonical comes to lay the boxes down and fill them, it's going to have beautiful sifted soil. We don't call it dirt. We call it soil, and then it'll be topped off with potting soil. So this is a great year to be starting because you have brand new, you have brand new soil to work with. People should raise what they like, but it should be realistic. Maybe sunflowers are a little tall for a plot that's in the middle of the enclosure.
Right.
So we might put someone who wants to grow corn or sunflowers out on the outer perimeter so they don't shade someone else's. But starting flowers that are easy are marigolds, anything you think of, zinnias. You can plant some perennials if you like black-eyed Susans, Coreopsis. I don't want to get Latin about things, but and so you can mix them in. And last year we did plow all of the plots down because we had to restore a new area. But you can plant perennials. We're not going to interfere over the winter because you have to leave perennials in through the winter.
Okay.
So it's fun to put a perennial or two in, some daisies that'll come up voluntarily the next time. The vegetable people would tell you to plant lettuce. Zucchini is always satisfying. We will probably put zucchini on the outer edge too, so the vines can wander around, you know. So the thing that will be different this year is planting crops that we can maintain in our boxes with weeding and pruning.
Okay, so you guys really do a little bit of everything.
We do.
So you brought an herb flat with you today, which
Yes.
some residents will put on their balconies. You mentioned it could also go in the garden. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about this?
Well, I'm not going to advertise a single place, but I do find that Wolf's and Wedgwood Gardens are good places for maybe a specialty plant. Lowe's plants and Home Depot work very well. I plant these in pots on my balcony because I cook, and so I want to be able. I want to be able to get to my oregano and my rosemary. But I bought these about a month ago, and at the time, if you bought 10, they were $1 off. So I have 10, and I have thyme, lavender, mint, parsley. These things will grow very well in a pot on your balcony, or they can be taken down and put in the garden, and they'll get much bigger down there.
Oh, wow, that's convenient.
And so if you run your hand over it, it's aromatherapy.
Love that. So there's a lot of different options for people who want to garden. You can start right on your balcony and then move it down to the garden.
You can move it down. You can start from seed. Actually, one of our new gardeners, who's an experienced person, but she's new to Riddle, she's found that if you take your toilet paper roll and cut it in half, you can put a little soil in there and start your seeds in your apartment window.
Oh, wow.
And then once they get high enough, then you can transplant them down below.
Oh, I had no idea.
I tend to go to sort of fudge a little, and after I've done that, I also go to Wolf's and get some that are already started.
I understand. So a question for someone like me who isn't great at growing plants and flowers. What are some tips for maintaining a garden after you get started? How do you keep everything alive and growing?
Well, this is a wonderful zone that we live in. People who are experienced gardeners know this. This little part of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware is a very, very productive small zone in the great United States zoning charts. And so lots of things grow here. We find that here you will want to start something to be safe outside somewhere around Mother's Day. I think the Penn State guidelines is that's about the first guaranteed frost-free day.
Okay,
now this
so
year,
weather-wise,
this year it's going to be tempting because it's been so warm.
Yeah.
And it feels like we could go out. It's going to be 80 today, I think. So it feels like you know.
You're ready to get started.
Yeah. It's a good thing the dirt's not in there. I'd probably be down there. So you do have to kind of wait. But if you're getting itchy, dirty fingers, you can start starting some seed on your windowsill, and then move them down sometime after Mother's Day.
Okay, so knowing when to start with the weather is a key.
And when they're little, it's when the plants are small, and you'll have this nice, perfectly new soil with not a lot of other stuff in it, and there is a weed-free mat that's been installed in that whole area underneath the stones. So what the weeds that come up will not be coming up from 2 feet down.
Okay.
So basically, keep at the little weeds.
Okay.
Little weeds don't go away; they just get to be bigger weeds. So you keep track of the weeds. Plant it in a sort of. You don't have to have everything in a row, but at least so you know what are your plants and what are the weeds coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Great tips. So we talked to Ron Waterman, who is our executive vice president,
Right.
and he mentioned that this renovation project for the community garden will be wrapping up the week of April 17th. So we would love to follow up and see what's been growing. When do you recommend seeing the progress?
Well, of course, it'd be fun to take a picture at the end of that week with the plots that are already prepared. I would say maybe beginning of June, come down and see what an early garden looks like, so that people who are starting or maybe haven't done it too much will know that it doesn't burst into bloom
overnight.
Immediately. But then you might come back in August and see where we're having to prune things back, because it'll really be very productive then. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to coming down and seeing some progress throughout the summer, the spring, seeing what you guys are growing and how it's coming along. And thank you so much for being on the show. This was very informative.
Oh, good.
Brooke, Mary is so knowledgeable. I really think that residents that are interested in gardening are really going to find this useful. What I loved most, what I thought was so interesting, is just what a community effort this was. You know, she lightly touched base on it, but you know, this was a project that was funded between Residents Association and Riddle Village. They split it, and that was a significant amount of money the Residents Association put towards it.
Right.
And then you have the people in the wood shop that built the garden plots, and they did 16 of them. That's a lot.
Crazy.
A lot of work, and I saw them down there working on it. And then you had Ron, our executive vice president, coordinating all of our contractors, particularly Caramonico, who, if you've ever been on our campus, they do a beautiful job with our landscaping. And then they'll be coming back, so that week of April 17th is very busy. So once they put in those garden plots, Ron shared with me that then Caramonico is going to be putting in that soil, which Mary said is like a gardener's dream this first time around. But also, what I learned is that when this project is done, our residents are going to have 512 square feet of gardening space.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, it really takes a village, a Riddle village.
Like that.
Yeah, what struck me as interesting after talking to Ron is all of the thought that went into this. They thought of like the perfect height to keep deer out of the garden.
Which we have a lot of them around here.
We have a lot of deer at Riddle Village. There's a small rail to keep out like smaller woodland creatures. Even things like weeds. They put down a special fabric and covered it with stone to keep the weeds from growing like a crazy amount.
Yeah.
So really every gardener's worry has been addressed, and we're working to make sure that there's no issues. They thought of everything.
They really did, and they took a lot of feedback from the residents, particularly the ones that use the garden areas. And Mary said they do have some garden plots still available. So if there is interest, contact Mary directly. And if perhaps you're not interested in gardening, but you want to go down and enjoy the area, it is a beautiful little spot tucked away. So we highly recommend you go and check it out.
Yeah. So this was a great episode. Learned a lot. Can't wait to see the progress over the next few months down in the garden.
Yes.
But until next week, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.